looks like we are live now. It should be showing up on the channels now.
Nice.
Yep. You can't see anything else, but so we'll just wait here a couple minutes and BS and talk and yada yada.
Let me see, because go to your channel real quick.
Yep, it's showing it.
Oh, fuck, actually, I gotta pull it up on here. I can send it.
I just gave it to Captain Frost so he can distribute it. I'll put it in our channel too.
Nice.
Wait a few minutes for some folks to show up. If anybody does, who knows?
Hey, man. How's your day been, though?
Good. Yeah, we got 2 people in the chat already.
Nice.
Oh, no, you can see the chat, right?
Let's see. Hey, chat. Hey, what's going on, guys?
We got John and we got Steven. So we got 2 people with us today.
Well, if 2 people's all we get, then by golly, 2 people is who we're going to be here for. So.
Fine with me. I don't care. A lot of people watch the replays, so.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So
live is just an added little feature they get to hear. They screw up live. That's all.
Nah, it's off the dome. There's no screw ups, man. It's all just
cheesy sound effects. I can be like, "Welcome, Buddha, to the podcast."
Man,
so good things about having an audio board.
I should probably get one of those too. So
I went around the horn sharing the news about an hour ago. Thank you, Mr. Stephen Watson, or aka Captain Frost. But we'll give it a good, solid. I'll wait for another 20 seconds and then we'll start the show.
20 seconds.
Yeah, I'm looking at the timer at the top. We're also down. Well, good. Since you're at Apple Podcasts, you can go right to there and put 5 stars in and put a written review saying this is the best podcast I've ever listened to, period.
20 seconds in, it's amazing.
Yes. All right, we're going to start the show right here now. Welcome to the Classic FASERIP podcast. We are back. I am DM Vince. Sitting alongside me is a new co-host, the Golden Buddha.
How are you all doing?
The Golden Buddha comes to us. He volunteered. He basically put his life on the line to sit in the co-host chair and be killed or not killed, depending
that's
on.
That's a bit of an. It's a little bit much, but okay, you're right.
Yeah, it's kind of turning into that chair's turning into the whole Spinal Tap thing going on, like we used to always joke about on another show. But yeah, you're like the new drummer that keeps showing up and leaving. And
Yep.
So Golden Buddha will be taking over the co-host seat for now until he decides he's sick of me and the show, and he will bail and go do his own thing. And
I'm already doing my own thing, but I will not bail on you, Vince. Not yet. Not until I make at least $1 million and get sponsored by Blue Yeti. So that's part of my goal.
Very specific goal and achievements you got there. Good for you. So why don't you tell everybody out there your experiences with FASERIP, what edition you like to play or favor, things like that.
All right. Well, first off, I've been playing this for about 5 years. It's the first game I ever GM'd. Okay, I did not start GMing with D&D. I started with the revised basic set, which is my favorite one. It's super easy to use. I love it. It's a cute little booklet. And so I've been running that for a while, and I do run games of it again from time to time. My favorite module would be the Days of Future Past one.
Right.
I think it's called Nightmares of Future Past, but same difference. And I love it. It's a little sandbox module. It's great. So, and as for my channel, I mostly do indie horror stories, and I also do rants about just tabletop stuff. I do rants about, or actually, and I look at like different modules or different products that I like the Loke battle mats. I love things. I have a few, little supplements for OSR stuff mostly, and Call of Cthulhu and like little other stuff here and there. Basically, what I feel like we're doing at the time. So.
The dark blue and purple rule set. Yeah, the revised edition is what he's talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, where do you get? I was looking at your channel the other day. Where do you get those stories from? Are those based on what you experience, or you go like Reddit horror stories?
No. Okay. A lot of them are Reddit ones, but there are a few. I don't. Okay. For me, I don't have a whole bunch of horror stories. Like I
was
I'm
like,
really...
damn, this guy has a lot of problems going on.
No. I like our games are pretty like I'm pretty selective with like who I play with and stuff. And so yeah, I have a lot of good stories, like just great games, of just great people who interacted together and had a great time and had a lot of like silly interactions. And yeah, we're supposed to, one of the stories that I'm working on is ESRT, which is like a cyberpunk game. It's like that we did like a couple years back, and it was just freaking amazing. Yeah.
Oh, that was the okay. I thought you were
gonna. Oh, you thought I was gonna tell? No, you go watch the video if you want. You want to know more? Because there's 3 parts so far, but it's probably gonna balloon into 8 because this is a pretty long running campaign. So,
all right, cool. So check out his channel. We will drop a link for that in the show notes so you can go. But you could just search the Golden Buddha on YouTube, and you can subscribe to his channel so he can get to his 1,000, so he can start making his pennies on the $1 million.
Please, that would be much appreciated, guys.
Yeah. But anyway, so we are back, as we said, and we're going to get right into the swing of things and just basically get into our meat and potatoes of the show today. And we're going to be talking about one of the UCP projects that is, I think Keith and I in the past went over Secret Wars 1 and 2, I believe. So we're going to go over part 3 now, which is Killville Compendium. So let me just pull that up for you. We're going to talk a little bit about this, the overview of it, the story behind it, and, give you some sneak peeks of what was done with it. And maybe how you can use it in a campaign for yourself. Now, obviously, I did, and you mentioned this when we were talking about it on the side, that I ran the villain game for like a year or so. Why didn't I use this? And it didn't really fit what I was doing. I wanted a group of villains in the regular cinematic universe of Marvel. Yeah. And I wanted them to just have fun and, sometimes a good person would show up and try to save the day, or I'd have my own Texas Lone Star people show up. So
yeah,
it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I didn't want a world full of villains, what this basically is. And let's get a little picture of this here. So from my understanding of this, there is a bunch of domains in the universe, so to speak. And this is one of the domains.
So this particular domain in this whole new Secret Wars, this new battle world, it is, I think it's in between the Monarchy of M, which is, where the mutants rule. Underneath it is the Sentinel territories, which is kind of like the Days of Future Past territory. And then like to the side is, I think, the 2099 domain. So, where all the future cyberpunk stuff is. And so they'll try to like cross through this, this terrible place called Killville, which is where all of the villains basically teamed up, and they were like, you know what? Yeah, no, let's kill all the heroes. And they got the heroes out of there. And it's actually a pretty terrible place to live. I mean, all things considered, even if you have superpowers, because then you're probably working for the Assassin's Guild or somebody else. So
I hate to be a civilian in this world where they're just like, "Nah, you're in the way, dead."
oh, 100%. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's collateral damage is just a thing that happens here. And yeah. So, but the key person in this whole little module is, of course, MODOK, everybody's favorite big-headed over what is he talks way too much. He's a
Big-headed
great guy.
goof. He's a
Big-headed
goof.
He's a goof.
Yeah.
He is a goof, especially in this.
So he's the Baron of this, I guess, battle world of domains, Killville. So he's the one that's in charge, and I don't know. I just don't see him being in charge of this world. But I mean, I guess that's what they did. So
initially he wasn't in charge, but he
right.
manages to kill Baron Mordo and Clea.
Yep.
So he gets them the fuck out of the way, and boom, and he becomes in charge of this domain. But yeah, no, you're right. He is kind of he's a goof, and yeah, he's MODOK. He's exactly what you would expect from MODOK. So
yeah, and then it did give some really good write-ups and kind of like a background history of MODOK and the key players in this world. So I thought that was really good. I like the fact that they have this history here, and they go to give you a couple of different examples of villains, not heroes, I want to say, that are in this world. And the list obviously works for the Assassin's Guild, and you got Bullseye. One thing I did say, Elektra's in there too. I didn't realize that in the first one. I don't know. I mean, Elektra.
Well, they do have Wolverine in there too. So
yeah,
I feel like leaving out Elektra would have kind of been like, eh. So because I feel like it's not just all villains, it's also like the kind of anti-heroes that are like willing to kill. So you can kind of slot them in there, like Deadpool. Deadpool would actually be a perfect. I know people love Deadpool. Deadpool would be a perfect fit for this setting if you want to just have like put your players in this setting and have them just fight Deadpool, have a bunch of goofy, zany things going on. Yeah. So let's see.
Yeah, and Black Widow, I didn't see. I don't know, maybe because I was recently reading her. She just doesn't seem like she fits in this world either. But I guess she said if she's willing to kill people, she's an anti-hero, so then she would definitely fit here. So
yeah, I think they were kind of reaching a little bit when they were writing it up in the comics. They were like, oh, we got to have some people. Like, all right, let's throw Black Widow in here. So
like some of them make sense totally, but I don't know. Black Widow just didn't make sense. Then we get the history of all the different organizations inside here, and then we get story seeds, which I thought was kind of cool. Some of them like the refugees. The characters are a band of mutants that have escaped from neighboring domains, the Monarchy of M, Sentinel Terror, and then they must kind of dodge the Assassin's Guild in this world and navigate through it. I thought that would be a really good campaign, the refugees one, when I was looking at this.
I think personally that's if you want to run a typical like Marvel like superhero type game, I think that would be the best story seed personally, because you can also kind of throw in stuff from those other domains. So you could have people hunting them from the Monarchy of M. So you could have Wolverine and like the Royal Guard maybe hunting them down or something, or you could have them interacting with human rebels, and then of course with the Sentinel territories, you could of course have Sentinels coming after, have maybe throw rod and shapeshift, and like you could have a whole like Terminator game. That would be amazing. Oh man, I want. That'd be so much fun. Oh my goodness.
Now, the magic suggestion by working for Strange, I could see totally getting into that, but I don't think a lot. I know a lot of people that don't like investigative games that just walk around trying to figure things out with little fighting. Because I kind of like that. I like to talk, see how well I
Yeah.
can get myself out of a situation before actually having to actually rely on a fist or magical powers or whatever. I like playing faces is what I like to do. So
Well, also this is a superhero game, so I think people kind of come in expecting to just like punch their way through everything, you know.
yeah, I think that was what most people thought in my campaign too. So
Yeah. Also, a story seed that I like as well is the Remnants. The characters are the last remaining superheroes in Killville. They found a safe haven amidst all the chaos and murder. Now all they have to do is survive. So then you could have them making like hard choices, you know, because there's civilians getting killed and all this, you know. Um, and you could have them like having to be heroic and kind of like but low key and keep everything kind of secret while trying to survive as well. Um, and and I feel like, and this is just kind of a gripe I have with the Marvel system in general, is like resources, like as a
hmm
stat, gets kind of like underutilized. I feel. I don't know
okay,
if it's been the same way in your games, Vince, but um, yeah. So maybe like kind of have the resources like mean more, maybe, or like have the resource stat fluctuate more in this as they
yeah,
find places to and accumulate like resources and maybe have to like do little like tasks and stuff or like even steal, like they would still take the karma hit in my game, but like oh, you got to have food, you got to have like stuff to set up, if you're still going to be heroes. So
well, yeah. I mean, in my game, I didn't actually use the resource stat properly. I just because they were villains and they were just constantly stealing money and things. So I actually just
awesome.
used the money. Whatever money they had is what money they had. So
Yeah,
I was like, what's the point of using if they're going to go to a bank and just rob it and then try to get away with it? Then why am I going to bother with the resource stat? I mean, they're
that's true, that's
villains.
fair, that's fair.
But I do like your idea of the reminisce because that kind of reminds me of what is that? The Man in the Castle. That
Yeah, Man in the High Castle.
Yes, reminds me of that.
Yes.
Like the resistance
Hmm.
hiding amongst all the people in Germany, and actually
Exactly.
in America because the Nazis took over America and the good guys are trying to fight. Or what was it? Freedom fighters from
Uh,
DC kind of thing.
yeah.
So yeah, I like that idea a lot. That'd be a great campaign to run, actually.
Yeah. What's another one that's interesting? Oh, Taking Aim. So Taking Aim, that story seed would actually
hmm
have them going into direct conflict with Modoc. And I don't know, I've run Modoc in some games, and he's a pretty tough cookie, honestly. Like his abilities are just, they're very good. His mental abilities, he can just blast through anyone who doesn't have any kind of mental defense or like heavy psyche stat. um and in the comic, in this little Killville comic, he kind of has hints that Battle World is not the real world. So he's kind of like piecing it together and like, oh, God Emperor Doom, that's not, there's something wrong about this. And so this could actually do you could have the characters, whether they be villains or heroes, have a reason to go into Modoc's lair and kind of like figure stuff out. They could play with tech and they could eventually like figure out the whole secret of Battle World, if you wanted to do it from that way, and then they could go from there. So
Burning down the houses when I was reading that one just reminded me of playing like Shadowrun. Just get in, kill
yeah.
everything, and get out.
That would be fun for a one shot. Absolutely. I feel
Oh
like
yeah,
if
I think
we
my group would definitely like that one. Just be like, yeah, here are your targets. Take them out at all costs, and they'd be like, yeah, and they would go right after these guys and wind up dying. But anyway,
that would be tough, especially Taskmaster would be tough. Oh man, I think hit when the ghost would actually be, oh, because that intangibility at Incredible,
hmm
that'll just be at if we're being real. Because like incredible intangibility, what's visible, incredible invisibility to like surveillance and everything. And just yeah, Ghost is pretty cool. Ghost is good shit. And of course Wolverine, because Wolverine is putting the team up against Wolverine. And now also that's another thing you could do with this book you could have even with these seeds, you could have like the different anti-heroes and villains working together. So you got all sorts of like, you can find different synergies to throw at your players to kind of keep them on their toes, you know, because not everybody in here is just like a gun guy, you know, like you got Boomerang and he
True.
has all the different rangs that he can use, you know, and then you got Wolverine and Sabretooth. You could have that combo and have them actually working together, or maybe they could play off of each other. Maybe they have a different history in Killville. Maybe they actually, you know, maybe they're actually cool in Killville. Who knows? It's, you know, it's up to the DM, you know.
Yeah,
So,
true. I'd thought out of all of them, Talking Heads was probably the most wackiest thing I would not want to play.
that's yeah, that does seem a bit clown shoes, honestly. Like,
I don't know. If they told me we were going to be these amalgamations of MODOK, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to pass on that. I don't want to play that. It just
it
didn't strike me as
depends.
something was fun. I mean,
It depends on if you still get, because like, okay, if you get the powers of MODOK along with the powers of the heroes that they're amalgamated with, like I don't know how that would just seem silly to me. I mean, again, everybody has their own taste, so if your group decides to do it out there, you know, just it could be a fun idea. Hey, if you try it, just let us know how it went. Okay.
I would be interested how they. You're right. That is a good point. How would the amalgamations look or work? Look, I
Yeah.
understand. I mean, work. I mean, Spider-Man head would have some spider powers along with. How does that even work?
Yeah, like would he still have the webs, or would he have the mind blast as well, or would his spider sense be amplified because, you know, bigger brain? Or how would Hulk work in that? Like, what is Hulk gonna do as as MODOK? Like, would he just get angrier and then he just does, actually that'd be kind of funny. Like he just gets angrier, but he just has these tiny little arms and he can just
Or he would give super headbutts or something.
yeah, or something like that. Oh man, that would be kind of funny. What else is there in here?
MODOK plus
Yeah.
Mystique, get him out of the hover chair.
Yeah. Oh man, that's MODOK. Oh Lord. But then yeah, no, because that's the thing. If he had Mystique's power, would he still be able, or would she at this thing? Would she still be able to transform? Because like Mystique can like transform.
Yeah.
Her body, right? So like,
Yeah.
would how would that work? How would that? It would be comical where it's like, oh, you just transformed the face and it's just like, now I look like this person, or she could just transform her whole body and still, but at that point you're kind of cheating, I feel.
Would she transform her body into a little head version of whatever she's transforming
yeah,
into?
That's what I was thinking of, exactly. that would be funny, but that would kind of be a little pointless, I feel. Let's see. Oh, Hard Target. The characters have been hired by Arcade from the Killseum to hunt down heroes from across Battle World for the amusement of the masses. So, and this is something that we're gonna touch upon in later supplements for Battle World and aka Secret Wars. So Arcade runs he runs a Coliseum, and he'll grab heroes and villains from different domains because he has, like, you know, basically Doom gave him a license to do that. And so he'll grab them and like put them in this, like, you know, in races or like in battles or in trials. Yeah. So, you know, you could actually have them just passing through Killville and then like have them just try to basically non-lethally subdue some of the most powerful villains, you know, or assassins in Marvel. That would be a hell of a fucking game.
It would definitely be a 1 or 2 shot game, though. I would think.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. But it would be hard for them to pull off, I feel.
Or you could extend it into a larger campaign when they're doing all this, but they're trying to try to break free to get away.
Exactly. Yeah, you could tie it into that. Because that's kind of what happens in most of the Battle World Secret Wars stories. Like, at one point someone figures out that like things aren't how they're supposed to be, and they end up like kind of breaking through or like revolting against Doom. So
Yeah, so they give you a bunch of really good story seeds to work with to try to get this into your campaign, and I think they did a great job. As usual, the project does a great job making these things, making them look professional, making
absolutely.
these supplements look really good, as if TSR would. Actually, I want to say that they're doing it as if TSR was further along in their, module making days, because obviously it stopped in the 90s after it was bought
Yeah,
out by Wizards of the Coast. Should they have kept the license and kept going, I think that we would have seen more full color supplements such as these with great comic panels and stuff like that. And we
absolutely.
also do want to thank Ben Riley as well, who gave some of the write ups. I'm assuming that's why he credited him.
Yes,
Definitely go to Ben's site if you want probably the best write ups for Marvel and DC and probably other comics like Image and stuff like that.
yeah,
If you're having problems, finding a certain character, he has that. And obviously, he went to Classic Marvel Forever. That's the main website that's been holding down the everything for years upon years.
going strong, constantly putting out new stuff. It's and constantly talking about stuff. It's great. It's great.
I haven't gone to the forums at all. I've stopped going to BBS forums because I don't know. I'm kind of tired of those forums. But and the Marvel Unlimited membership, which I did have at one point, but I didn't like it, so I canceled it. But I could see it really being useful for building stuff like this. So
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
and thank the rest of the group. And obviously, don't pirate anything because we don't condone that here. Pirating is
At
bad.
all. Yep.
Just don't
Stay
get
off those
caught.
high
I mean,
seas. What?
what?
What did you
Who?
say, Vince?
I
How
said
could
don't
you?
get caught.
How could?
I wonder if anyone's actually tried to print these out and see how they would come out as an actual book. I'd be interested in seeing some pictures of those things. Because I
I might
mean,
have to try that one day.
yeah, I
Go
would
down
like
to
to see that.
Staples. Yeah.
Sending it over like Lulu or something, Lulu.com, and putting it in there for just to see if you can get. It'd be really cheap too.
Oh yeah, definitely. Huh.
Full color, 26 pages. I mean, it'd be cool to have all these things on your shelf, just to have them.
Definitely.
George Henson, one of the people behind the project, is here.
Shout out to George.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is definitely a good. I think would really work really well in a game.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and what's another thing? Oh, then of course you could have oh, and here's a seed that I thought of kind of.
Oh yeah, go for it.
You could have the players be in Killville, and they're trying to fight for the barony. Like, so whoever wins the battle, like whoever takes out MODOK becomes the next baron of this shithole. You could have them do that. I mean, again, I wouldn't want to live here, but it's something. Again, you could probably do like maybe a couple sessions of it, or have a one shot.
And then, of course, once you're the Baron, then you have to attend the meetings and balance the budget and everything.
I mean, it could lead into a greater campaign where you maybe lead Killville into a rebellion against Doom. Maybe.
I don't know if they Doom. Yeah, I mean, you could.
You could. These are all ideas that could happen, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
CP, yeah, that's DJ Tyner in the house there, Stephen Watson. That's what we were calling him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we're basically, I think that's all we have for this week. We just wanted to come back with a nice little short show to get everyone back acquainted into the show, as I get Buddha acquainted and into the show and stuff like that, and blah blah blah. So hopefully you've enjoyed the show. It's a shorter one this week because I didn't know how long this would take, and how long I didn't know if Buddha would take it. Maybe I thought he was going to quit mid-show and run out on me. So,
nah, never, man, never. I'm here for the duration. So,
or until he gets fired, one of the two.
That would include the duration, yes.
Yes. So we'll be back in 2 weeks with a more fuller show once we get an idea of what we want to do exactly as we're planning these things out. You can send suggestions in here to my channel, comment below for that. You can hit the thanks button if you want to support the channel as well. Go to the Golden Buddha here at YouTube, subscribe to him, hit like on his stuff, and praise him to the heavens. And don't forget to, if you download our show at Apple Podcasts, which I know some people did in chat, I saw it. Head over there and give us a 5-star written review, and we will read it on the air with giving you praise and shout and love.
Yeah.
So until next time, good night, everybody.